message that we're going to try and get across here with both Ken and Shane is the message of hope and encouragement. And we want you guys to know that although Ken and Shane and a handful of people in the call tonight have had a lot of success in the storage realm and have been able to change their lives, they didn't just start there. I feel like we've all pretty much started in a very similar spot where maybe a lot of us here were just trying to get out of a job that we didn't love. We were feeling financial stress. I know that was me. Weren't spending enough time with the family or weren't able to take those trips that we wanted to do. And so we've kind of all started off in the same place. And we want to remind everybody of what's possible. Of course, we can go over the nuts and bolts of storage all day long. But the big message here is we need to remind people of what's possible and just remind them to take that first step. You don't need all the answers in order to find success in self-storage. It really just comes down to taking that first step, and it turns into somewhat of a snowball effect from there. But Ken, welcome. I know at this point, everybody's familiar with Ken Holmes. And what I love about Ken is not only has he created incredible success in the storage realm, but Ken is one of the most giving, generous people I know, and truly wants everybody to succeed. And I thought it would be really helpful, Ken, because we don't often talk about where you were before self-storage. And I think it would be cool to chat a little bit more about that and kind of your journey into where you are today with this huge, nice sized portfolio that is going to be a tremendous blessing for you. And we can talk a little bit more about that. But can you tell everybody here? So tell us, kind of where you were before storage, and then how you made your transition into the game, and then where you went from there.
Sure. Be glad to. A lot of people know here I'm in an organization called Life in Air, which teaches us to have a vision. And about 5 years ago, my wife and I made a decision that we wanted to move once our kids got out of high school, went to college, empty nester and all that. And at the time, and for the previous 20 years, I mean, I've done all kinds of things in real estate, but the main thing I've done over the years is flip houses. I've flipped 400 something houses over a long period of time. And so when we started thinking about moving, the thought of moving to another city and starting the house flipping business over and finding new contractors and learning all the new neighborhoods and yada, 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 just sounded depressing to me. I did not want to do that at all. And so I wrote in my vision that I need to find some kind of new real estate business. And I wanted it to be location independent, so that when we moved, it didn't matter. It didn't affect my business at all. And I wanted it to be something that would be easy to systemize so that I could, work my way out of work. And then, it was probably 4 or 5 months into having that in my vision and reading it every day that I kind of by happen chance stumbled into learning a little more about the storage industry, which I had actually checked out probably 15 years prior. And I'll call that BT, before technology. And the storage business was not attractive to me before technology. And so I basically became Mike's first student in the what was to yet be called the Storage Rebellion. And Mike, walked me through my first deal and got me going and all that. But that's what I wanted out of storage, was to be able to move, which we just did. We just moved to another city, and it did not affect my business or income at all. And so it was the perfect business for me. I remember when Mike first described it, he went on and on about how storage only has a 30% expense ratio, and other real estate has a 40 or 45% expense ratio. And I was like, I don't care. Is it location independent? And can it be systemized where I don't have to work? I mean, that's really those were the driving factors to me. I would have done it the other way around if the expense ratio was higher, knowing that I could just buy enough to where the expense ratio didn't matter. And, and that's what we did.